Hello, this is part two of interpreting the Speak the Name song. We are going to try our best to do the chorus. We're going to try our best to do as much as possible. And we start with Raise It Up, Fill the Sky. Now that is very symbolic. Let's backtrack. What was said just before? Healing the broken by the one we proclaim. Oh, what's that? Not important. Healing the broken by the one we proclaim. Raise it up, fill the sky. Okay, so what I'm getting from this is that we're raising up, right? Our proclamation about God and how it's His Spirit that heals us and all of that jazz, all that amazing stuff. And we're raising that up, right? Our proclamation, we're raising that up. Raise it up, fill the sky. I don't think it means literally fill the sky. You can't fill the sky with proclamation. What's actually going on? I'm thinking that maybe everyone joins in and everyone's fill the sky. That's very symbolic and to me hard to understand what's it really trying to say. But anyway, raise it up. I would think that it's talking about the proclaiming that we're doing. We're raising our proclaiming to Him. So I would just as I said earlier, the proclaim could be this. It could be worship, it could be praise, but since it has the raising up to it, we want to kind of show that. So I would probably take that proclaim and use it as praise. So, you can't really see my hands. Let me take a step back. Alright, so probably, and fill the sky, right? Fill the sky with the praise that we're giving Him, right? And to show that, we don't want to literally show fill the sky. That's not what it's saying. I really feel like what it is saying is that everyone joins in and everyone is lifting up praise, and it just kind of covers everything, that's what everyone hears or that's what everyone sees. That explanation is also really symbolic. But anyway, I hope you understand, because this could have some serious decoding. But raise it up, fill the sky is what I'm getting, is that we're going to lift up our praise and everyone's going to do it, and that's what's going to be filling the sky is our praise. That's what I'm getting. So that's how I would do this, is everyone joining in. That's what I'm getting. If you at all have a different interpretation, please let me know. And I am open to interpretations. That's just what I'm getting. Anyway, chains will fall, mountains will move, we lift Him high. Right? So chains will fall. Chains is, we could sign it literally. Chains will fall. Or we could sign addictions. They're gonna fall. Addictions will fall, sin will fall. Anything like that could also work. So chains will fall. Now, the thing is that when something is super symbolic, we probably want to sign the meaning. But there are some things that are so common in the Christian culture, in the Christian community, that everyone knows what he means by chains. We're not talking about literal chains. We're talking about things that hold us down, which could be sin, which could be addictions, which could be temptations. It could be so many things. So even if we sign chains and this, a deaf person is not going to think, what actual chains? Are we shackled? No, if this deaf person is a Christian and has been going to church for a while, then he's going to understand. Deaf people aren't dumb. There's some cases where a simple metaphor is just a metaphor, and we don't, interpreting songs is sometimes you want to keep the metaphor, sometimes you don't want to keep the metaphor. It's all about your audience, skill level, how do you want to portray the song? What's gonna flow better? What's gonna make the melody really nice and all that jazz? So raise it up, fill the sky. I wouldn't know how to sign that literally while still giving the actual message across. So that's why I would probably sign just the meaning, that everyone is praising and we're lifting it up and it fills the sky per se. But chains will fall, that's something that everyone will know. In context, change is just a metaphor for sin, temptation. This is the sign for temptation, not elbow. Surprise, surprise. Temptation, sin, addiction. You could sign that. You could sign addiction. You could sign sin. This means that it fades away, right? Or you could sign the actual metaphor, because in this case, most people will understand what it actually means. Anyway, mountains move. Mountains could mean literal mountains, because God has the power to do that. Or mountains could be a metaphor for problems, struggles, things like that. Just how like chains, we knew that chains wasn't a literal thing. We knew that chains was a symbol for addictions, sin, temptation, and they fall away, right? So we could sign mountains move. And we would actually use this move because the mountain is here and now it is here. So we would move that. We could do this too. But mountains could be actual mountains, or it could be a metaphor like chains and mean problems, conflicts, things like that. So it's up to interpretation. I don't think it would drastically change the meaning of the song if we chose a literal mountain or if we chose the metaphor, right? I think since chains we chose literal, maybe stick with chains, you could do metaphor, and then mountains maybe literal. No, wait, I'm getting mixed up. If you chose to do the chains literal, then maybe the mountains you could do the actual metaphor, like it's a problem or the conflict and it fades away. Or maybe you want to do both literal. I'm thinking you could actually mix and match maybe. I don't know. Personally, I would keep the chains like this, and the mountains I would probably sign this. We lift him high. It could be praise, it could be worship again, or as I would like to do it is we lift him high, or we lift him high. We put him high, we put him high, we put him as our priority, we put him high, high, high. All of that could count. Okay, so that was a tricky. Anyway, let's do some of the next chorus. It's almost 9 minutes and we've only gone through 4 lines. Speak the name above all names, the name above all other names. That's what it says. So speak the name. You could do speak name, speak name, speak. Or not just even speak, you could maybe like this, kind of like tell everyone, like announce it. Here, and then speak the name. You do speak name, or because it's a song, and this song is very powerful, you might want to use the space around you, kind of show the power of this song, kind of speak the name. You speak the name. The name above all names. So the name would just, or the name was just, or the name is like, probably this would be better because these are like the other names, but this name as in Lord, God, Jesus, this one is the tops. It's up here. You could also sign tops. There's several ways to sign that, but they would all essentially mean the same thing. The name the wind and waves obey. Now, yet again, someone could be like, what does this mean? But we know that this has actually happened. When Jesus was on the boat with his disciples and the storm came and he told the wind and waves, calm down. And indeed they did. So we know that in this part, that's legit what's happening. The name that the wind and the waves obey. We know that it means literally. The wind and the waves don't represent something like the chains do or like the mountains maybe do, right? We know that literally, because it's in the Bible, that this is what it means. It's talking about actual waves and actual winds that have obeyed God. Chains could mean sin. It to me, it probably does. It means sin, addiction, things like that. Mountains could mean problems. It could mean conflicts in life, struggles and things like that, or it could mean a literal mountain. That could go either or. But the wind and waves, that is literally wind and waves, because there's a story about it, so we know it means wind and waves. I'm so repetitive. Anyway, so the name the wind and waves obey. So wind, waves. For obey, I would probably just they follow God, right? So you do the wind, waves, and remember, wind and waves, right? We're talking about a storm here because that's the context where it's coming from. So you gotta show the storm. You wanna say hi?
Who are you talking to?
No, I'm making a video.
Oh, so you're not talking to anyone?
No.
I look like a fool.
Yeah, you do. Anyway, so wind and waves. Something like that. Something like that. Remember, everything that I tell you is up for interpretation, right? Next part, all of heaven's coming down. Fill the earth with the sound of the name. Oh my goodness gracious, what is this? All of heaven's coming down? It makes no sense. I've been a Christian since I was 6 years old, and sometimes I hear these songs and my interpreter mind is just like, what in tarnation? Give me a breather here, bro. All of heaven. Heaven, like actual heaven, right? Is that what we're talking about? Heaven is actually coming down to earth? I don't think so. I really don't think so. All of heaven's coming down. In this case, we had heaven earlier in the song, and we literally sang heaven is waiting. But in this context, does it mean that heaven is coming down on earth? Would we actually sign that? Does it actually mean that? Or is heaven maybe a metaphor for God's glory? God's glory is coming down. That's probably a more realistic interpretation. Okay. I would probably sign it like that God's glory is coming down, right? And since glory is like this, I would sign coming down like this, just to keep everything flowing, nice and pretty. Fill the earth with this sound. Yet again, the sound is everyone proclaiming. Everyone is saying it. So everyone is proclaiming, worshiping. Fill the earth with the sound. The sound of what? The sound of people proclaiming God's name. Fill the earth with the sound of the name. Right? People are still proclaiming His name. Right? So fill the earth with the sound of the name, meaning everyone is proclaiming and worshiping and praising His name. Everyone. And it's filling the earth. Everyone is singing it. Everyone is praising it. That's what it would mean. Right, so fill the earth with the sound of the name. Yet again, I would probably sign like everyone together, join in, something like that. Because to fill the earth with the sound, to sign that literally, it's just, yet again, we got to think about the melody. We got to think about the flow. And because of the flow, because of the melody, that is why sometimes we will stick with the metaphor or just sign the meaning. You gotta be strategic about it, very confusing. Anyway, this video is officially 15 minutes, and hopefully this video has helped, because maybe you're just more confused than ever before, but hopefully this has helped you, right? And this video isn't me telling you that this is how you sign the song. This is me telling you how I understand it, how I would probably do it. This is just one opinion, right? If you don't like how I sign it, that's valid. You have your own opinion. You have your own way of how you understand this song. And right, if you have any questions and you're like, I was thinking we could sign it this way, please let me know. As an interpreter, I would love to see more interpretations of this song. Christian songs are tricky, my friend. They are tricky. Anyway, enough talk and blah, blah, blah. I hope you're doing fine. Cheers.